It was on October 19th in the year 1796 that an essay appears in the Gazette of the United States in which a writer, mysteriously named Phocion, slyly attacks presidential candidate Thomas Jefferson. Phocion turned out to be former Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton. The essay typified the nasty personal nature of political attacks in the late 18th century America. When the article appeared, Jefferson was running against then Vice President John Adams in an acrimonious campaign. The highly influential Hamilton, also a Federalist, supported Adams over Jefferson, one of Hamilton's political rivals since the two men served together in George Washington's first cabinet. According to Hamilton biographer Ron Chernow, Hamilton wrote 25 essays under the name Phocion for the Gazette between October 15th and November 24th, lambasting Jefferson and Jeffersonian republicanism. On October 19th, Hamilton went further, accusing Jefferson of carrying on an affair with one of his enslaved workers. This would not be the last time such allegations would appear in print. In 1792, publisher James Callender, then a supporter of Jefferson's, whose paper was secretly funded by Jefferson and his Republican allies, published a report of Alexander Hamilton's adulterous affair with a colleague's wife, to which Hamilton later confessed. However, in 1802, when then President Jefferson snubbed Callender's request for a political appointment, Callender retaliated with an expose on Jefferson's concubine. He is believed to have been referring to Sally Hemings, who was part black and also likely half-sister of Jefferson's deceased wife, Martha. Further, the article alleged that Sally's son, John, bore a striking resemblance to those of the president himself. Jefferson chose not to respond to the allegations. Rumors that the widow Jefferson had an affair with one of his enslaved workers persist to this day and have spawned years of scholarly and scientific research regarding his and Hemings' alleged progeny. In 2000, a research report issued by the Thomas Jefferson Foundation used DNA test results, original documents, oral histories, and statistical analysis of the historical record to conclude that Thomas Jefferson was probably the father of Sally Hemings' son, Easton, and likely her other children. Eston, not like Easton Corbin, Eston Hemings. Sorry for the name butcher. On October 19th, in the year 1985, the first Blockbuster video rental store opens in Dallas, Texas. At a time when most video stores were small-scale operations featuring a limited selection of titles, Blockbuster opened with some 8,000 tapes displayed on shelves around the store and a computerized checkout process. The first store was a success and Blockbuster expanded rapidly, eventually becoming one of the world's largest providers of in-home movies and game entertainment, before eventually filing for bankruptcy in 2010. Blockbuster was founded by David Cook, who who had previously owned a business that provided computer software services to the oil and gas industry in Texas. Cook saw the potential in the video rental business, and after opening the first Blockbuster in 1985, he added 3 more stores the following year. In 1987, he sold part of the business to a group of investors that included Wayne Huizinga, founder of Waste Management, Inc., the world's biggest garbage disposal company. Later that year, Cook left Blockbuster, and Huizinga assumed control of the company and moved its headquarters to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Under Huizinga's leadership, Blockbuster embarked on an aggressive expansion plan, snapping up existing video store chains and opening scores of new stores. By 1988, Blockbuster was America's leading video chain with some 400 stores. By the early 1990s, Blockbuster had launched its 1,000th store and expanded into the overseas market. In 1994, Blockbuster was acquired by the media giant Viacom Inc., whose brands include MTV and Nickelodeon. In the mid-1990s, the digital video disc, DVD, made its debut, and in 1997, Netflix, an online DVD rental service, was founded. Around that same time, the e-commerce giant Amazon.com launched a video and DVD store. Blockbuster faced additional competition from the rise of pay-per-view and on-demand movie services, through which viewers could pay for and watch movies instantly in their homes. In 2004, Blockbuster split off from Viacom. That same year, Blockbuster launched an online DVD rental service to compete with Netflix. The venture was not successful. On September 23rd in 2010, the company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. By 2014, the last of the company-owned stores had closed. October 19th in the year 1987, the largest ever one-day percentage decline in the Dow Jones Industrial Average arrives on a Monday. As a number of unrelated events conspired to tank global markets, the Dow dropped 508 points, 22.6%, in a panic that foreshadowed larger systemic issues. Confidence on Wall Street had grown throughout the 1980s as the economy pulled out of a slump, and President Ronald Reagan, our 40th president, implemented business-friendly policies. In October of 1987, however, indicators began to suggest that the bull market of the last 5 years was coming to an end. The government reported a surprisingly large trade deficit, precipitating a decline in the U.S. dollar. Congress revealed it was considering closing tax loopholes for corporate mergers, worrying investors who were used to loose regulation. As these concerns grew, Iran attacked 2 oil tankers off of Kuwaiti waters, and a freak storm paralyzed England, closing British markets early on the Friday before the crash. The following Monday, U.S. investors awoke to news of turmoil in Asian and European markets, and the Dow began to tumble. Further compounding the crash was the practice of program trading, the programming of computers to automatically execute trades under certain conditions. Once the rush to sell began, matters were quite literally out of traders' hands, and machines escalated the damage to the market.
Watch out, watch out.
Despite looking like the beginning of another Great Depression, the LA Times headline read, "Bedlam on Wall Street," while the New York Daily News simply read, "Panic." Black Monday has been largely forgotten by Americans not versed in financial history. As it would again in 2008, the federal government took a number of measures to correct the market, resulting in immediate gains over the next few weeks. By 1989, the market appeared to have made a full recovery. Some now interpret the events surrounding Black Monday as proof that boom and bust cycles are natural and healthy aspects of modern economics, while others believe it was a missed opportunity to examine and regulate the kind of risky behaviors that led to the crash of 2008. Documented and divulged on this audio file can be verified on history.com.